Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I'm the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, a Skyrim SE Let's Play, featuring Ettient Jorel, the Thalmor Ranger. Well, here we are. He's gotten some sleep. Let's put this away, actually. There we go. And now it's time to head out. Now, our mission for this evening is to find that lodge. And we are supposed to kind of follow through on this scheme. Maven told us to go ahead and follow through on it. And, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Fuck. Doesn't make any sense. Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I'm the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, a Skyrim SE Let's Play, featuring Ettient Jorel, the Thalmor Ranger. Well, we are getting prepped for tonight's mission, and we are being sent to the lodge by Sibby Blackbriar. Etienne has elected to do this mission because it gives him an opportunity to scope out a Blackbriar property that he didn't know existed. So, this is kind of a good opportunity not only can we see what's there, but we can do it presumably with the blessing of a member of the family. Etienne is playing a little bit of a semantic game here. When he was given this mission initially, he was only given the mission to try and figure out what Sibby was up to. But he has now taken it upon himself to sort of take on a mission that's come from this whole thing. And I think the main reason that this is compelling to him is obviously because he is very interested in finding these other Blackbriar properties that he hasn't seen yet. Obviously, still looking for Kerway. So, we are going to go to the Blackbriar Lodge. However, we have not been given a direct order to do so by either Maul or Maven. So in a way, he's going rogue a little bit, but as a lot of people do in situations kind of like this, he's playing a little bit of a semantic game, right? Where he's saying, well, you know, a Blackbriar said that I should do this, so I better do this. I think in his mind, he's thinking to himself that Maven couldn't possibly complain It was never said to him at any given point that he was to disobey any Blackbriars but Maven. So from his perspective, he's doing what needs to be done. Even though he knows that if he were, you know, truly being cautious, he probably would have run this by Maven first. Hey, look at that! Ladies and gentlemen, our first skill up to 100. Sneak. I'm going to drink some coffee to celebrate. Okay, having concluded that, we're going to level up. Points to stamina. And we are going to go straight to archery this time. And what I have elected to do with this level is I'm going to put it into Hunter's Discipline. And I'm putting it into this perk not because I'm just really concerned about recovering arrows. I'm really interested in getting to this perk, Trick Arrows, which is going to allow us to create our own arrows with different kinds of effects, which I'm actually looking forward to a lot. These could be very helpful in different kinds of situations. Now, of course, we've got to acquire quite a few more levels in archery before we get to the point where we can make these, but having Hunter's Discipline just done and out of the way kind of paves the way for that advancement. So, when we do get to that point, we will be ready. Alright, let's see what this big fella is going to do. Okay, we better check. Look at him just lumbering around. He's pacing, waiting for something to happen. Okay, we'll sneak on behind him here. Alright, so at this point, Ettient is really hoping that he's allowed himself enough time to find this lodge. He knows roughly where it is, but it's not as if he has a map or anything like that. Ridding the world of spiders. What's with this guy?
Yes?
What are you doing out here?
Need something? I'm collecting ingredients to bring to the gourmet. He'll think my taste so refined when I offer them to him. You have heard of the gourmet?
Yeah.
Then you know that gourmet keeps his identity a secret. I'm hoping to discover who he is so I can tell him how he changed my life. For all I know, the gourmet is a woman. You know, I've heard the gourmet is in Skyrim right now.
You know, you might want to consider gathering ingredients during the day, in the light.
Yes?
I'm pretty sure if we hadn't been here, he would have been probably wrapped up in spider silk by now and half consumed. Okay, we need to make a little adjustment, though. We don't need to be killing spiders with ebony arrows. Those are too valuable for that sort of thing. Okay, so since the last episode, there have been a few changes. Skyrim Special Edition Patch 1.3 has been loaded. And the dialogue box bug fix for that issue that was plaguing me in the last episode with dialogue selection, where I had to kind of skip a whole section because it just turned into crap warmed over. Hey, look at, there's a watchtower up there. Maybe we're closer to the lodge than I thought. Okay, Lost Prospect Mine. Mark that on the map, adventurers. All right, we can see a watchtower, so the time has come for caution. We've got this big bluff here. We're going to have to try to get up here somehow. I think it'd be much more desirable to... Uh-oh. It's one of those kind of holes you jump in and never get out of again without fast traveling. This may not be a possibility at all. This is looking pretty grim, even for our mountain climber guy here. Okay. So in this expedition, I went with the mercenary armor instead of our standard nighttime gear, just because, given all the talk with Sibby about this location, I sort of got the impression that it was going to be heavily guarded. So we're going to err on the side of caution and go with armor that's perhaps a little bit more bulky, but is going to offer us more protection and all the benefits afforded by our enchanted gear. You remember, our nightwork gear is not enchanted in any way. It's been improved as much as we can improve it through smithing, but beyond that, it's all pretty just straight up gear, no enchantments or anything like that. So we're going with a little bit higher power gear just to make it sure that we can get through this thing. Okay, let's see if we can ascend this. It's pretty steep. There we go. All right, we made it. Let's park here and take a breather. Time check. Oh man, it's already 2:30 in the morning. Crap. Okay, there's a door down there. Somebody guarding it. There's a back door. And I don't know if anybody's in that watchtower or not. Okay. Plan for keeps for now, but Etienne's goal here is to try to get in and get out without killing anyone. Oh, there's a guy right there. All right. We better cool our heels a little bit here. Okay, here comes this guy back now. I think the lower door, this one right in front of us, is the more desirable entry into the lodge, because it's probably going to deposit us in a cellar or a basement, something like that. Whereas this one up here is probably going to dump us right into the middle of a living space, which we don't want at all. The only problem here, of course, is once we jump down into this area, there's no getting out. Not back the direction we came, because it seems pretty steep. All right, let's do this. Oh, found something there. Got it. And we're in.
Mead. Kill him to get some beer every now and then. Stupid bees and their stupid honey.
Ooh. There's a lot of activity, given how late it is.
Freeze. What was he thinking? Fool never saw me pull that ace out of my boot. Picking pockets now. That's the real art. No rough stuff. Just take it. Lying little heart.
Okay, these are the identity papers we were looking for. Okay, let's grab those.
Could be anyone's. Won't get one rusty septic from me.
Now, Sibby also gave us the key to a stash.
I'll never do another span in that stinking jail.
It's right here.
I'll die and give myself up.
A flawless amethyst and some gold. All right, fine. We'll take it.
Use your smarts, he said. Like I'm supposed to figure out which college he meant.
All right.
Told him to just hand over the gold, but did he?
Now we've got to case this place.
They always have to fight back. I need me some skooma. Stuff. Just last time.
Wait a minute. Sister?
You need something? Talk to my husband, Vantis Lorius. Or just Lorius, if it's all the same to you.
With that,
Wizards. Now that's
Kerway jams a crumpled letter into Etienne's hand and tells him to get out immediately. And she's got the kind of look in her eye that indicates that if he stays much longer, it's going to be too dangerous. So she insists that he take the letter and leave, and she refuses to come with him and won't explain herself.
bounty this time. Walk into
You
the
picked a bad time to get lost. Somebody help!
Don't hide from me.
She was right.
Is
She
someone
was
there?
right.
Where are you?
The only way we can be absolutely sure that we're going to get out of here is like this.
This is a surprise.
You won't leave here alive!
Are you prepared? Damn, where'd you go?
We just keep running. Etienne is running on pure adrenaline at this point. He had no expectation at all of finding his sister there. But then to find her, only to have her refuse to accompany him, is very disorienting to him. And he's absolutely sure that she knew who he was. He revealed himself to her by calling her sister. He was so dumbfounded he didn't know what to say, and he said sister, which, in hindsight, may have not been the best choice of words. So, struck dumb by the experience, he barely gets away. She insists that he leave, and he barely gets away. He snaps out of his kind of shocked trance just in time to get out the door. And once in the safety of the forest, he unclenches his hand to find a crumpled letter from his sister. And the letter reads, "Brother, you are the same as you ever were, a cruel bastard, even in death. You left me for years thinking you were dead. How is it so easy for you to destroy people? I will never understand who you have become. I assume that the situation I find myself in now has something to do with you and your many excellent life choices. Therefore, you are going to fix this, even if it takes your actual death to do so. You are going to find my husband, and you are going to get him back and hide him from this vile Blackbriar woman. I will not be rescued by you. To the contrary, you work for me now. I will stay here and play the part of the cooperative hostage, all the while listening and learning anything I can. I will pass what information I can to you so that you can ensure that no harm comes to my husband. The men and women who have me under guard are mean and bloodthirsty, but they're also stupid, and they talk freely in front of me. I'm also responsible for cleaning the lodge and preparing the meals, which gives me free run of the house. I will use this access to learn as much as I can and pass that information on to you. All that matters now is Vantis. He is a good man and does not deserve this. Etienne, I am truly happy that you are alive. I saw you at the farm, and even from a distance I knew it was you. There are things about you that are unmistakable to me. I have known you like only a sister could. When will you stop trying to hide who you are from me? We could have been a family. We could have helped each other. Perhaps someday we will be able to talk about all of this as siblings should. Each dawn and dusk I'm permitted to leave the lodge to care for the horses. You will need to arrange a method for us to pass messages. I don't care how you do it. Just get it done and let me know what I need to do. You owe me this. Kerway. Etienne crams the letter into one of his belt pouches. And we stalk off into the forest, frankly, completely stunned. Kerway has taken her brother to task. Big time. And Ettient is shocked by it because he had big ideas of rescuing his sister, you know, swooping in, saving her from harm, right? And freeing himself up to pursue Maven and her people freely. It never really occurred to him that his sister might actually be happy. I think for Etienne, the idea that the life that she has now is one that she actually cherishes is somehow shocking to him, because I think as her older brother, he probably had always assumed that she would take a different path. She would marry up. She would become an important person someday, you know, that kind of thing. I think he probably saw bigger and better things for his baby sister. And now he realizes that the situation that she's in is one that he's largely responsible for because of the way he kind of abandoned the family. But all these many years when he had been sort of punishing himself over her assumed unhappiness, he discovers now that in fact she is happy. She was happy living with this Imperial man that he's never met and knows nothing about. And I think for him, it's shocking. I think also for him, he feels sort of, I guess, ashamed is probably the right word, that he had made these assumptions, kind of assuming all along that his sister had settled for something less than she deserved or wanted. And he thought he was going to walk in and she was going to be happy to see him and he was going to scoop her up and take her to safety. And instead, she takes him to task, tells him to beat it, takes control of the situation, sends him away just in time. Otherwise, he probably would have been killed. And now, based on this letter, has not only taken him to task, but has taken complete control of the situation. And now he, in part at least, is working for Kerway to try and find her husband Vantus. And it's obvious from the tone of the letter that she holds Etienne directly responsible for her husband's situation. And so now we find our protagonist, I guess, conflicted on a whole new level. He felt compelled to do things for Maven because of the threats of violence, either against him or his sister, which is, you know, a compulsion driven by fear. Now where his sister is concerned, he feels a compulsion driven by something else. Probably equal parts admiration and shame. On the one hand, he feels he's got something to make up for. And on the other hand, he looks at her and I don't believe that he's at a stage, given how estranged they are, that he would call it love or affection for her. But he definitely he definitely respects how she's handled this situation, and my guess is that as the older brother, he's never experienced this side of Kerway, the side of Kerway that is the grown-up, taking care of things, demanding that he take action. And now he's sort of left dumbfounded and trying to understand what this means and what he should do, and what about the horse, and you know, how to proceed, right? With his sister in the lodge, he doesn't dare complete that mission, knowing that she's there. The risk to her is probably too great to consider completing it. So Sibby's going to have to wait. He's not going to be very happy about it because, you know, we've stolen the papers, we took the contents of the cache, but nobody's getting a horse. Not today, anyway. So the next thing he has to figure out is what happens next. He's got to find a way to pass messages to Kerway. So that's next on the agenda. Trying to find some way to safely pass messages to his sister, who's going to be only able to come out of the lodge twice a day. So, our protagonist is... Hey, you don't fire over somebody's shoulder like that.
Dragons breathing fire in the sky. Vampires brazenly attacking people on the street.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world, I tell you.
I mostly deal with petty thievery and drunken brawls. Been too long since we've had a good bandit raid.
And so, as I was saying, our protagonist is probably in pretty bad shape right now. Look at this poor bastard. It's mine now. Brynjolf is certainly enriching us in more ways than he realizes, I think.
Buy some armor and live to tell about it.
So at this point, I feel like Etienne is sort of wandering a little bit, trying to figure out what the hell to do next. He's got to think through this situation and figure out how to pass messages back and forth.
Come to see what brings you to Balamant today. Repair? Purchase?
What have you got for sale?
Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to see.
I don't need any
needs.
blades or helmets. Crafting feathers. I do need. All right, thank you.
If you need any more smithing work, come see me again.
Well, Maul told us that we should pursue this issue, find out what Sibby's
Working
up
at the Rift
to.
and Fishery is tough, but it puts some fun in life.
We could go back to Maul,
Welcome to the Pond Prawn. Come on in, take a
tell
look
him what
around.
we discovered, without sharing with him the fact that we actually have the papers.
I have all sorts of interesting items for sale. Have you looked around? Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
All right, let's see. I'm interested in a bit of this. Now, if you've got some of that, I would be interested in it as well. But you don't have any of that. But you've got this. So I'll take that. Okay. He doesn't have any crafting feathers. That's okay. Just gathering up as much ebony as I can get my hands on here. Just hopefully enough so we can make a few more arrows and make sure we're well supplied.
Fairest prices and the highest. Can I interest you in some fine goods from Morrowind? Take a look.
Okay. Anyway, that's the story, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we're at right now. That's the most recent development. So,
you gonna buy something, or just here for training? Just what you see here.
all right.
Come back when you're ready to spend more gold. Goodness knows I can.
Let's take one more shot with Khajiit friends out here.
Gems, potions, exotic ingredients. I have them all.
If so, great. If not, that's fine too. We'll make whatever arrows we can. And then I think it'll be off to fulfill our obligations at Golden Glow. Did they pack up? Ah, they did. They must have left at sunrise. Well, let's take a look. How did we come out? We got at least a couple, right? No, we just got one. We got the one. That's it. That's all right, though. That's a few more arrows than we had before. And if we're going to Golden Glow, and the place is flooded with mercenaries, we need to be assured that we're doing as much damage as we possibly can. Now, the Golden Glow mission, however, it's going to have to be a night mission. It's going to be a long night, and it's going to be pretty intense.
My food is the best in all of Skyrim.
So I'm feeling compelled to do that mission in our night gear. So we may have to do a little bit of enchanting here as well.
Looking to stay alive? Why take a chance?
Just to make sure we're maximizing our damage output. All right. Ebony arrows. What are we missing? Leather strips. We offloaded our leather strips back at the shack.
Balamant. What brings you to Balamant today? The finest weapons in armor.
But we'll just buy what we need so we don't have to make a return trip. I'm fine with that. It's just leather strips anyway. So, yeah. Since we're here, let's offload anything we can.
If you need any more smithing work, come see me again.
Okay. Ebony, 25 more arrows. We'll take it. Okay, if we're going to do some enchanting,
Working at the Rift and Fishery is tough, but it puts some coin.
I think it would be incumbent upon us to just double check, make sure if anybody here has any good enchanting potions, we've got them.
Welcome to the Pond Prawn. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
Treasures. Okay. Okay. Let's look and see quick. I think we've offloaded pretty much all of those high-value potions. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that is fine as well. Okay, very good.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Wait a second.
I have also... Take a look.
Sorry, it's painful to watch me shop, but sometimes my mind is all over the place. So this amethyst we can get rid of. We don't need it. Flawless garnet, don't need it. Garnet, garnet. Okay. Just wanted to get rid of those items because he's kind of the only person who's going to buy them unless we go down to the Ratway. Maybe Branchet would buy some of that stuff. I don't know.
City's quiet enough now, but when the sun goes down, you best keep on your guard.
You here for lessons?
No.
Do you have any idea how busy I am? Ah, so you're an alchemist then?
Huh. Potions. Ah, come on. Ooh. Enchanter's Filter. Enchanter's Potion. Well, 10% is 1% better than what we can do ourselves. The filter is a no-brainer. We'll take that for sure. Okay. That was definitely a worthwhile stop. It was worth it. All right. All right, so if we're going to do some enchanting, I would like to enchant at least a couple items. And if we're going to do that, I'd really like to get my hands on at least 1 or 2 grand soul gems. I really hate doing enchantments without at least a grand soul gem.
As Jarl Leila's houseguard, I would ask that you maintain a respectable distance from her at all times.
Silence.
Did we have an... Excuse my disorganization, but I'm in the middle of some delicate experiments.
All right, well, let's get this transaction over with then so you can get back to work.
And incantations for those with the talent to cast them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So we will not be doing any enchanting, apparently. Interesting.
I have to remember. Ward first, then summon.
All right, if she doesn't have them, I don't know who else would. I mean, Bearsay might have had them. Suppose we could check with Branchet. There's a possibility. I don't think Grelka would have anything like that.
You gonna buy something? Or just what you see here?
Well, she does have soul gems, just not the kind we need. Okay.
Come back when you're ready to spend more gold. Goodness knows I could use it. Ah, you're back. What have you discovered?
Can I interest you in some fine goods? See for yourself.
Looking to stay alive? Why take a chance?
Nope.
Keep your eyes to the road.
Will do. Okay.
If you're looking for a handout, you'll want to speak with my husband.
We will...
If you're looking for company, I suppose I could do...
It's the second time that woman's propositioned us. That's... interesting. Suppose, if she wanted to look us up, she knows where we're at. I mean, we're living in her fishing shack. Okay, so we don't have any grand soul gems, so doing the enchanting that I was hoping to do is out for now until we recover some from somewhere. We'd have our own inventory of soul gems, but I'm pretty sure there's no grand ones there. So what we're going to do is we'll mix and match our gear tonight as best as possible, but the way I see it, this is the same type of operation, you know, that we embarked on when we took out Sarthas Idrin. There's going to be... It's going to require kind of light travel. It's going to require going in and out of the water. I mean, all that kind of stuff. So the gear that we choose has to be good for that sort of thing. Okay. All right, so the boots, the arm guards, the hood we can do without. The robes we're going to need. And we'll just mix and match what we bring with us between the sets that we have. So, golden diamond ring. All right. So I did make a couple of minor changes to him. He's wearing a little bit of face paint of his own design. So war paint focused around the eyes. And to him, it's kind of an ochre color. And being around the eyes to him is symbolic. A couple of different things. One is who he is and where he is. Kind of being in the present, if you will. And then that it's also a little bit symbolic of the idea of burning around the eyes. And I think for for him that is just kind of a symbol of how almost unsightly he sees some of his past to be, and how the visions of his past and the things that he's done in the past burn his eyes. So he's kind of entering, I think, a phase where he's thinking more deeply about his situation, where he's been and where he's going, probably more so than he ever has in his entire life. If you think about it, he's always been on the run, always fighting for survival, always, you know, scratching for the next job or the next gold coin. And now he's in a situation where he's recovered from his imprisonment, he's gotten his strength back, and the world is constantly shaking under his feet. He's constantly under emotional pressure. He's constantly testing the physical limits of his body, stuff like that, and it's opened him up to new experiences. And so he has created his own war paint in the Nordic tradition that has symbolism for him. And he's made it out of his alchemy ingredients to be kind of this ochre color. The other thing that he's done is he's shaved part of his beard off as well. Changed up his look a little bit. So he's got a bit more trimmed beard. Not a full beard now, but more of a goatee-style beard. Just kind of slowly transforming who he is and how he sees himself. And all of that good stuff. All right, so for apparel, I think for a mission like this, what we can do is we'll mix and match what we've got here. All right, so this will be a good setup for the night. It's lightweight. We'll be able to swim in it. We'll be able to do what we need to do. We won't get all of the enchanting bonuses. We'll be missing out on some bonuses for stamina and archery that we would have otherwise gotten if we went with our traditional mercenary armor. But from a roleplay perspective, Etienne's going to be of the opinion that that armor would not have been suitable for tonight's mission because it's going to involve a significant amount of swimming and stuff like that, so it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So, time check. It's 1:43 p.m. At this point, Etienne is going to turn in, and as soon as the sun sets, he's going to start this mission. It's going to be a long night, so he has to get an early start. And it's going to start, unfortunately, with a lengthy swim. A lot has happened in this episode, so I appreciate you sticking with it, and for all of your kind words and feedback, and I will see you next time.